At the genesis, the start of the project, the Hong Kong Arts Festival approached me and said, "Mark, we think you're the right person to set the first black and white silent Chinese movie to music properly, a full-scale scoring." And I said, "Yeah, I love the idea." And I did my research, so I watched maybe 20 different movies, and I said, okay, it has to be a movie with Ran Lingyu acting in it. She was the Greta Garbo of Chinese film in the late 20s, early 30s. And she has probably two or three films more famous than this, Goddess and Modern Woman. But I found this movie particularly challenging. I chose it because it would allow me to use more naturally the Chinese instruments mixed with the Western instruments. It wasn't just shot inside a studio. There was a lot of outdoor scenes. There were scenes of the village, big scenes of Shanghai, and it was also political. It was set during a period of civil war in China and then the Japanese invasion of China. And I like to sink my teeth into difficult subjects. And also, perhaps more importantly than anything, the last 10 minutes of the movie is probably one of the top 10 endings I've ever seen in my life. It's the actress, Ran Lingyu, as Sister Ye, she goes crazy. She goes mad on the screen. And during that period, the director gives us no text, no subtitles, no nothing. And it's incredibly powerful. The image of her face as she goes mad. She falls on the street. She is, at that moment, already very, very poor. And those 10 minutes inspired me. I thought, if I can rise to the occasion and I can do that ending, I have captured the whole movie. So those are the reasons. I think this film gave me the freedom to explore musically the mix between the Chinese instruments and the Western instruments, and also the mix in my head between Western music and Chinese music, more than the other films would have given me. And it's a great film as well. It's a bit difficult to separate. I do feel that in this particular project, in this production, my music is very expressionistic. Partly because I decided at the beginning that I would not fight against the movie. I would go along. But at times, I think I go in front of the story. At times, I am reminding people of what happened before. And at times, I'm also taking the audience, I give them premonitions, little prophecies of what is about to happen to the main characters. A lot of Chinese culture is tragic. Over the 4,000 years, or the 2,500 years of recorded history, the lives of the Chinese people often have been incredibly tragic for the individuals. And Chinese movies and Chinese stories are not afraid to talk about the tragedy or the melodrama. I know the modern world, especially the modern Western audiences, tend not to like melodrama or tragedy. But I'm Singaporean and by descent Chinese, and for me it's the reality of life. So there is no separation between reality and the slight melodrama. But yes, the instruments that I chose for the film, there's the cello, Leslie Tan on cello, and then there's the guan, and then the erhus. They are very romantic instruments. They are very, very melodic instruments. So I decided that I would score the film with melody, strong melody from start to end. It would be the backbone of the whole 2 hours, just melody. Yes, it is romantic because it needs to be. It's expressive because that's my style of music. And also, I also feel the world needs it. We need romance, we need some melodrama, we need some ability to feel again. I was a pop singer from the greater first half of my career. I made albums with WEA and Polygram, and I released world music under BMG and also in Japan with Hori Pro, a Japanese label. And you can, if you search me on iTunes, I think you can still find 3 albums from that period. Then I took up the Chinese flute, and I learned it for many years on my own before I went for formal training. And I'm also a countertenor by training. So I would say I play many instruments, some not well at all, some quite well, and some I think my voice and my flute is quite good. But I'm no pianist. I do play classical guitar, and I play. I used to play my favorite instrument is the Chinese guqin. It's an instrument which has a 3,000-year history, and it's possibly the most unusually expressive instrument I've ever heard in my life. But I wish I was better at that. But, yeah. From the start, I used the whole ensemble. And the ensemble, there are 7 other musicians on stage. There is pianist, pipa player. Pipa is the Chinese version of the lute. The lute is descended from the oud from Arabia, and the pipa is also from Central Asia. So then there are 2 erhu players. It's Chinese, like erhu, like a Chinese fiddle, a Chinese violin. And then there is a wind player who plays the guan, swanak, and other instruments, and the percussionist. And the whole ensemble starts from the beginning, from the show. And they weave in and out throughout the 1 hour, 15 minutes of the performance. So when it came to the 1, 2, 3 parts in which her life gets torn apart by fate, I wanted a sound which came from another world. So I had already set up the whole ensemble to play from the beginning, so it was quite easy to decide, okay, I have to use my voice to come in here, because it's fresh to the audience's ears. And also I can do certain things to my voice, which you will see during the show, which are quite unusual. So when her husband has a heart attack and falls down, it goes... and I use it through the show. So I don't always sing like that, but I have many ways of using my voice. So it was interesting for me, and I think very effective dramatically to put it there. For me, I use that voice in the 3 crucial moments when her life is torn apart. So for me, that voice represents the fates. Les voix de fate, as you say in French. So it's the voice of the fates, the harpies coming to give her bad things. During the time when I was writing, you will notice that on stage all the players have every note written out for them. But in the early stages, I did change certain things, and there are 3 moments on stage in which there is improvisation for my voice. For example, it's always slightly different. I watch the film and I sing what comes out. And also the man who plays the guan, he's probably the most famous guan player in the world right now, and he improvises during the war scene and with me, because he plays with me when I sing use the voice to represent the fates. So he improvises with me. He's a brilliant improviser. But for the rest, they tend to stick to what's written, because if they don't, then we miss the cues. Everybody's playing the thing which we have to hear this to know when to come in. So, and they're all professionals. The improvisation on stage comes when I sing. And we did quite a bit of exploration at the beginning when I was first writing for the show in 2002 and 2003. But now what you see on stage is fixed mostly, and we need it to be fixed because we have to chase the film all the time. We have no luxury of, okay, we do a 5-minute improv here and we put the film on black. Okay, we can't do that. Yeah. By philosophy, I think I'm very Taoist. I believe that in my career, perhaps if I had pushed harder, I may have achieved more or become more famous. But Taoism tells you that it is there's a natural order for yourself, which you have to identify and you have to keep to for your own health, your sanity. And so Taoism is a strange one. They say, Chinese say that you're Confucianist when you're young and you're active and you're ambitious, and when you retire, you become Taoist. And then you can enjoy nature and you can relax. Taoism is actually a way to have as natural a life as you can in a very unnatural world. We live in big cities, so that is our new nature. And to live in the city, I have to find a way to keep working, to push my work, and then also to find some space to hide so that I can keep my sanity. Because, so I think for me, Taoism is me identifying from quite young that, okay, I'm an artist. I'm quite different from other people. I don't function that way. So I have had to tell myself, if I'm angry, I must be angry. If I'm not happy with something, I must decide, do I show it or do I keep it? I really believe in the project, so I will push for it to be seen. But there is a limit beyond which you push, which is not productive, and it's not good for the musicians, for my own sanity. So when we arrived, on the third day we had rehearsals. We were all very tired. The jet lag was hitting us. And I said, 12 o'clock rehearsal tomorrow. And normally I will not change. But I saw their faces, the musicians, and I'm thinking, how can I get the best performance from them? You know, so I looked and I said, okay, there are no better musicians in the world. They're almost top of the craft, every single one. So they said, can we start at 3:30 instead of coming at 12? So I was thinking, okay, come here at 2:30, start at 3 on stage. So at the start of the rehearsal, I said, okay, you've got the rehearsal you want. You make sure you give me a good show tonight. So I think Taoism has some practical things and some very impractical things, because Taoists do not seek fame. And one of my problems is I don't like to give interviews. And I don't like to have publicity unless there is a reason. I think in Singapore people know very much. I will not do something just to get some big news, but if there is a production on, I will call up every newspaper in town, every radio show, and I will do them all because I want people to know it's on. So my view on life is like that. And as I get older, I'm thinking, because before I was a singer, I was in front. And now I would like to be behind, even though my musicians say, you know, we miss you being in front with us. But I'm thinking I'm getting older. I'd like to just write, and now I'm writing a book. So I want to do things alone as well. So and I follow what's happening with my body. I can feel that, okay, you're getting old, just in case you lose your voice, just in case you can't do this or that. So I think that's Taoism for me. It's a natural way, but maybe in the ways of the world, where you have to push yourself, you have to put yourself up constantly and do tweets and Facebook all the time, so everybody knows what you're doing all the time. For me, I don't like that. It's scary.